Hi, everyone. Today we're talking about how to exit the rat race officially, completely, ongoing. Because even though you feel like you have, there are so many instances where you may unconsciously and unknowingly be pulled back to into this rat race of a life. And I'm about to hop onto a meeting really soon, but I felt called to come on and share some insights about this because it's so evident in our culture. It's so evident on social media that people are in this hustle mentality to achieve some sort of outcome. And a lot of the times, it's not even an outcome that they truly intrinsically desire. They might not realize that it's coming from this outward expectation and standards set by the world. And what I encourage you to do is look from within and set your sights on your soul because anything that is outside of you that is dictating how you act, how you feel, that isn't true freedom. That is conforming to a mold that you never agreed to. And I think this is the reason why so many people feel unfulfilled, lost, and when they do ultimately hit those goals, wonder why they still are unhappy. They might ride the joy of that for so long and then resort back to feeling the way they did, which is deeply unfilled. Like they still need to fill a void, like they need to go searching for more. And this is not to say that you should never have any goals, that you shouldn't use your time wisely, that you shouldn't execute, but the energy that you do that from and the state of being and awareness and perception that you take those actions from is what is the game changer here. Because if you're someone who is striving towards a goal to elevate constantly, make a certain amount of money, have a certain amount of success in your business, based on metrics that you think are, the standard, all of these things are coming from outside, right? Well, who told you it should be that much? Who told you need to make that much amount of money? Who told you all these things? And it doesn't mean, again, not to constantly grow and expand, but to be aware and conscious of the energetic state that you're moving from. Because there's a difference where maybe you've sat with yourself, you've tuned in, you've aligned with the divine will for your life that really comes from your heart and soul and your highest self, which is ultimately God. Then knowing that, receiving that guidance, and then moving towards that goal. And I don't want to say towards because you're accessing it now, knowing that you are ultimately whole, fully loved, fully accepted. There's nothing left to fix about you, and still wanting to express your soul in a very full way. So, which then leads to, instead of striving, instead of performance, it becomes an act of devotion to the love that you have for yourself and for others. It becomes true service. It becomes detachment from this outwardly expectation because you're moving from a place where you're already whole, already fulfilled, already fully loved and accepted, and want to spread and emanate that joy and that love outward, as opposed to moving like you have to fill a void, moving like you have to prove something, moving like feeling like you have to hit a certain metric or goal to be accomplished. Those are stark differences. And when you move from your soul, when you move ignited from your passion, from spirit, this is the joy and the fulfillment that people are looking for when they think they're going to hit those goals. Whereas people have it twisted. You can have that joy now. You can consciously choose and step into and perceive from that awareness of that whole place now and use that to move through this life. Use that to express your authentic self. Use that to be of true service to others. Um, and yet there's so many people in this in the world, in the business world and online who will tell you you need to achieve something, you need to acquire something outside of you to be whole. And those people are usually selling you something. And I'm not knocking sales, I'm not knocking businesses. I'm saying that we need to be aware of what our environment and what our surroundings are signaling to us. Because if we are not aware, then we become like this tumbleweed weed that's just tossed and turned and moved in every which direction and never truly rooted in who we are, which is why it's so important to know who you are at a soul level. Have that deep relationship and connection with God, source, universe, whatever it is that you call it for you, and allow that to guide your direction. Allow that to fill your being and allow that to make you to remember that you are whole and then move from that space. So I have to get ready for my meeting now, but I just wanted to do this really quick short video because it's just everywhere. It's right. It's like people are like, you should be hustling, you should be moving hard, you should be rushing towards your goals, you should be wanting to. And again, I love personal development. But personal development can only go so far. Personal development will lead to burnout. Personal development will lead to feeling like you've arrived nowhere, even though you've accomplished it all. And I've seen it in clients too, who have accomplished it all and still feel void on the inside. The thing that you are seeking is the remembrance and the trust that you are fully loved, fully accepted, and fully whole as you are now, in the now. And to truly, truly, if you know who you are at a soul level, if you know God at a deep level, if you have built that relationship and have that faith and that trust, then you truly would trust the divine timing and unfolding of your life, just like nature does. Nature unfolds exactly as it should, and the timing that it's meant to. Nothing is rushed, nothing is um, felt inferior. It just is. And so we are being called to return to this flow and this divine dance and be the fullest expression of what God has called us to be. And we can never do that if we are just following the world and what it's telling us to do and how to act and why we are still not enough. So I hope this message and this video reminds you today that the fulfillment that you seek is already within you, that you are already whole, fully loved, accepted, and that you can use this energy and this knowing to be open and receptive to receiving what is the highest call for your life. How are you meant to serve yourself and others in this world? And allow that divine message to come through you and trust the steps that you are meant to take to get there. Wholeness with love, with acceptance. And remember and be aware to not let the world dictate every step of the way, because who should really be dictating your steps is your most truest self on the inside, which is ultimately your connection to God, to the highest source, to the highest perception, the highest awareness that there is. You are one with all that is. And so I will leave you with that. Again, hopefully this helped. Let me know what you think in the comments below if you have any questions or comments. And yeah, this is something that I feel like has been a huge game changer for me and something that I never want to forget. And just moving from this awareness, from this presence, from this state has made all the difference in my life, in in the world, in my relationships. And it doesn't mean that I'm done. It doesn't mean that I don't have any goals. In fact, I have many, but I can feel rooted and grounded and whole as I take them. So I can truly give. So I can truly freely give from my overflow, from the outpouring of my heart and my soul, without feeling like I need to take so much to feel something, feel filled, right? This is when you become a true leader. This is when you become a true person of service, of wanting to truly give, because you're already whole. Okay, there's so much more I could say about this topic, but I do have to go. Um, but I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great rest of your day and see you in the next one. Bye.